Hi and welcome everybody. Shawn Thompson here, spiritual counselor and psychic medium with a bachelor's in psychology, master's in counseling, and doctor of divinity. Thank you for joining me today. We are going to talk about kind of an intriguing topic here on Conversations Across the Veil. So many people ask me about certain topics through the thousands of readings that I've done, and I thought, well, why don't I share some of the common answers and secrets that I know? The topic today is what your loved ones in spirit will never tell you. Before I share those with you, though, I want to tell you a few things that they want you to know. I have probably done thousands of readings, and consistently they come through with these things that I am about to share with you. And I think it's really important that you know, because we all struggle in the grieving process and through loss, and we all want to know how our loved ones are doing across the veil. So let's jump in. One of the first things that I want to share with you today about what they do want you to know is that they are at peace where they're at in the light. You have to remember that they are surrounded by unconditional love from family members, friends that have passed before them, from the angels, from their higher self, from God, love source. They can't get enough. It's like the perfect homecoming. So rest assured that they are all happy, healthy. Remember too, their emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual things that they may have struggled with while they were alive or incarnated are all washed and restored to wholeness. So they are in a total state of peace. Number two, they want you to forgive them. That is one message that they definitely want you to know, because, we're all fallible. And when we're incarnated and having temptations and living our life, we steal, we cheat, we lie, and we do things that we're not proud of. And so they want you definitely to know that they want their forgiveness. And not only does it kind of score them spiritual points on the other side, it offers healing to you too. So just remember that they want you to forgive them. Another thing that they want you to know is that they forgive you. So a lot of times when, especially in a tragic moment or where they leave the humanly realm suddenly, we harbor a lot of guilt and a lot of fear. What if there was a fight before they left? Or what if we had an estrangement and we didn't get along with them, or we said mean things, or we even did mean things to them? We hold a lot of guilt for that, and they want you to know that they 100% forgive you for anything that you did, because they don't want you to hold on to that guilt. A lot of times people, the surviving family members who have to decide to take them off life support, they worry that they did the right thing, and they want you to know that you did, that you honored their wishes. A lot of clients ask me too, are they happy with how the will turned out? And is there anything that I did wrong, or did I grant their dying wish? And they want you to know that the answer is yes, and they're so appreciative of that. So that's the third thing that they want you to know. And you have to remember too, when they cross to the other side, they are filled with so much love. They're kind of like granted new lenses to see things through. Okay, so they don't harbor any revenge or any anger or any resentment whatsoever like we deal with here. And so when you're talking about forgiveness, whether it's them forgiving you, you forgiving yourself, you forgiving them, where they are is full of the highest vibration of love and light. It's easy for them to offer that to you and for them to ask that from you. So the fourth thing that they definitely want you to know, they always come through with this, is that their moment of passing was intended. It was in the master plan. It was divinely guided. You have to know that even though it's a tough concept for you to understand and embrace, that especially during sudden and tragic circumstances, that we're given exit points of when we want to leave our time here on earth. And I know everybody would like to fall asleep and die in their sleep, but that's just not possible. But we are, as a soul, given exit points. And because we're offered that through free will, we get to determine when it's time to leave, when it's time to go back home. And even though consciously that might not make sense, you would think, well, they were so young, or they had kids, or their life was so great, or, why would they want to die that way? So if you think of it, life like a circle, right? In that circle, there are moments or portals where we can choose to check out. And some of those are tragic. Some of those are through drug overdose. Some of those are through suicide. Those moments are all attached to the matrix and come with karma. It comes with lessons. It comes with vibrations that on a human conscious level we'll never understand why or when or how or what's involved when someone checks out and decides to return home. So they want you to know that it's all in the master plan. It's all divinely guided. You will receive that understanding and answer when it's your time to cross. And so they really want you to know they don't want you to remember how they died. They want you to remember them for how they lived, for the happiness, the relationships, the memories that they had. That's one thing that they always come through with that I just wanted to emphasize today. So Chris, Donna, Valerie, thank y'all for showing up. I think you're going to get a lot out of this video today. So drop some questions in the comment box below. If I don't address them while I'm live, I definitely will go back and answer them afterwards. So let's see, the fifth thing that they want you to know is that they will not interfere or intervene in your life. Now, they can shed some light. They can be part of the synchronicities. They can let you know that they're around them, but they don't want to intervene or rescue you from your learning opportunities, except in an emergency. They do get permission to come through, and that's what we call miracles. That happens sometimes when it's just something's going astray and they want to be able to help. They do have permission to that. But in general, they're not going to intervene. You're here for your soul's development, and you have crafted experiences in your life that are going to help you reach that level that your soul wants to attain, both here and across the veil. So they want you to know that they're not going to interfere. Here's another big one that they definitely want you to know. Their stuff, all their material stuff, they don't want it to be a burden for you. So they're always coming through, letting you know that if you need to let go of it and not get that, 12 by 12 storage unit to house all their stuff, let go of it. Even prosper from it. Okay, they want what's in the best interest for you. So if you want to give it away, if you want to donate it, if you want to sell it, if you want to, give it to a museum, go ahead and do that. They have no use for it anymore. And the attachments that they had on their stuff while they were alive, they don't have attachments on the other side to it. You do, so there are some maybe sentimental value of certain things that they would love for you to keep if that's what you want. But they definitely don't want you to feel the pressure of guilt of holding on to stuff that you just don't need or can't use. Okay, so they give you permission to let go of that. Number 7, you will hear from them in time. They promise you. Just because they come to your cousin the day after they died, but they don't come to you for months at a time, doesn't mean that they're not around you or loving you or trying to connect. Sometimes your grief is just too heavy and you can't get the message, or they're really, really trying and you just don't see it because of the space that you're in. But they want you to know absolutely that at some point they will come to you, and it's going to be in a dream. It's going to be through a symbol. It's going to be through a message that maybe your sister got that she's supposed to deliver to you, or through a medium such as myself. Just because they don't come to you directly or in your dream, or you just don't have this profound moment, doesn't mean they love you any less. There may be a vibrational disconnect as to why they can't reach you, but they can reach someone else. And I promise you, they're going to move mountains to get some sort of message to you. So Donna, thank you for showing up. Carla, it's so good to have you here. Let's move on. Number 8, and this is the last one that I definitely wanted to emphasize today, that they want you to know, and then we're going to move into the things that they would never tell you, and you'll be surprised at some of those. So Melanie, thank you for showing up. Bonnie, good to see you. Okay, number 8. They want you to know that they're always with you, and they're just a thought away. Seriously, a thought. Okay, so you can think of them, you can look at a picture, a song can come on the radio and it reminds you of them, and boom, they are there. You have to remember, the way that they communicate and the way that they can connect with you is immediate. It's through thought, it's through consciousness. You don't have to have a secret code or schedule even a medium session all the time. All you have to do is think of them. Now, if you're having trouble getting the message, then of course I'm valuable to you. Schedule a session with me so I can be their voice. But literally all you have to do is think, and they're there. The problem is you just have to trust that what you hear, what you feel, what you see is really them, and it really is. So let's move into the good stuff. I want to share some things with you that they would never tell you, and it's not really what you think. So one of the first things that they would never tell you is that they tire of you asking for a sign or if they're around. They never get tired of you saying, "Are you there? Do you still love me? Was that sign from you? Will you send me another sign?" They love to connect with you. It's kind of a fun game for them too. They love to send you butterflies and pennies and let you feel them in their essence, or send you an important song, or give you a message and help you along their way. They're never going to tire from that, but they do want you to know. They don't want you to get obsessed about it. They want you to work on trusting and believing that they're around you, that, yeah, that butterfly was from them, or yeah, that song on the radio was divine timing that came through during a time that you need it. And so what they need you to do is trust and believe that every sign you do get, it is from them, and to don't doubt it. They have millions and millions of lifetimes to send you special I love yous and treats, and they love to do that. So they'll never get tired of you asking for that. The second thing that they won't ever tell you is that they're too busy to talk to you. Oftentimes I will hear people say, "Well, I scheduled a session with a medium, and the medium just told me that they weren't coming through because they were just too busy." That is so not true. On the other side of the veil, you're not one singular body or person. You can't only have one connection or be talking on the phone to one person at a time. You're pure consciousness. There's quantum physics. They have access to know everything, be everywhere, and essentially spiritually multitask. So even though they're on the other side learning things, okay, they're never too busy to talk to you. Now, let me follow that up with this. They don't want you to spend every waking moment trying to connect and have them in your life 24/7. They know that you have a life, you have lessons to learn, and you're needed here for right now, okay? So even though they're busy on the other side, you're busy here too. And if either one of you was constantly available and refusing to learn your lessons, whether you're here in spirit, they're in spirit, or here in your humanness, you would not be on path. And so it's not that they're too busy to talk to you. Usually, if you can't make a connection, it's because you're drained, you're stressed, you're tired, you don't believe, you're depressed, you're angry, and the vibrational connection between them and you, or them and the medium, or the medium and you, is just not a strong connection. Has nothing to do with them not wanting to talk to you or being too busy. So remember that. Number 3, they definitely will never, ever, ever tell you that it's your fault of why they died. And I'm saying this specifically for people who have guilt or fear or PTSD because maybe they were involved with the cause of death, whether it be because of a car accident, whether it be because they were playing around with guns and the gun went off and it took their life, and even through homicide. Okay, so you have to remember there are exit points that we can choose to leave this life. There is karma. There are lessons learned in the reason for them dying and choosing to leave at the time that they did. They will never tell you it's their fault. Even if you pulled the trigger, there was some karmic contract that was created before you or before they or before whoever was involved intended to do that intentionally. And I know that that might be hard for you to hear, but I have done hundreds of readings where they will come through and say, it's not your fault, to people who murdered, who pulled the trigger, who were part of a homicide investigation, whether it's accidents or intentional. They don't believe it's your fault. There's a bigger picture, and you'll learn that either through a medium session or when it's your time to cross the veil. So another one, the 4th one, is they will never ever tell you to continue your grieving process beyond what's good for you. There is a natural process of grieving that typically the science part of things says about 0 to 2 years, okay? Just depending on what type of grief or what type of loss you're grieving. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter, has a lot to do with coping skills, has a lot to do with your understanding of life and death, has a lot to do with the support system that you have, has a lot to do with your belief systems about life across in the heavenly realm. So all of that determines your process of grieving, but one thing they will never tell you is to grieve them the rest of your life. Okay, they do not want that. You are needed here. They know that. You have a job, you have a mission. They know that they're going to see you again. They know that they can be connected with you on a daily basis. So they don't want you to be sad. They don't want you to be depressed. They don't want you to put your life on hold. They want to walk with you side by side, and they cannot do that if you are having meltdowns left and right. They cannot do that if you are in a state of depression or self-medicating or having a pity party beyond what they would want for you. And I say that with love. They cannot connect with you. They can't communicate with you. They can't make you get the signs. They can't direct you in life and kind of shed some light on some situations for you if you are grieving more than what they would want you to grieve. Okay, they understand the grieving process. They were human. They had to grieve loss at some point. They're not minimizing it, but they don't want you to stay stuck in it. So that's the 4th thing. Now the 5th thing that they would never, ever, ever tell you to do, and I'll tell you, I have people who are alive that deny this and that will argue with me and have fired me over saying this, but it's not, I'm just the messenger, okay? Don't shoot the messenger. They would never tell you not to love again and even remarry. There is more love that can go around on earth and in spirit than you could ever imagine, okay? And just because that person was your soulmate this time, this lifetime, and maybe even for many lifetimes, doesn't mean that you can't have more than one, doesn't mean that they would want you to just be their only one. That's a human thing. That's an ego thing. That's something that we created that said, oh, girl, I'm going to show up if you find another one. No, that's what humans say. That's not what your loved ones in spirit say. There's enough love to go around. They do not doubt any ounce of love that you have for them, ever. There's no jealousy on the other side. There's no singularity. There's no possessiveness. There's no obsession on the other side. Those are human traits that we have that our ego engages in. Oftentimes they will come through, and I just got excited. Sorry about that. They send you love. Okay, I've had many people say, I'm going to send you another relationship that you can learn from. And please be open to that. They want to play a part in your happiness and your love while you're still here. Let them. Okay, I have never had one reading, and trust me, I have done tens of thousands of readings where your loved one has come through and said, oh, you better not marry. Nope, I will light that guy's pants on fire. They don't come through and say that. They say, well, let me help you find somebody in your soul family that is waiting, that's available, that is needed for you to continue your life. They kind of stir the pot. They want to have fun with it. So just remember that. They're never going to tell you not to remarry or not to love again. Let's move on. Number 6. Now, this one might be a little hard to digest egoically, okay? They're never going to tell you to get revenge for their death. And so I'm speaking mostly for people who have struggled or lost loved ones because of someone driving too fast on the highway and it caused an accident and it killed their loved one, or they were drinking and driving, or even homicide, right? Or even, this is hard to say, serial killer, murder stuff. They do not want you to spend the rest of your life seeking revenge for their death. Remember, there is a master plan. There are karmic lessons that come in with every behavior that we do to each other. There are lessons at a soul level that we come in to learn and cannot be learned unless somebody does something bad to teach us about forgiveness, to teach us about compassion, to teach us about surrender, right? So this does not mean that if you feel called to lobby or fight for drunk driving issues like MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, that you don't be the head of something like that to change laws. They're not saying just walk away and let what happened happen. They're saying that they don't want you to let it destroy your life through anger and resentment or revenge, and they don't want you to harm another, okay, because someone harmed them. This is a huge message, and this is something that you need to really sit and think about if you fall into that category, and I hope that part of the message helps you. Angela, good to see you here. Thank you for showing up. Okay, next one, number 7, the timing of things, okay? Yes, they know when things are going to happen, but do they want you to know that? No. Rarely, if ever, do they ever come through. I don't know if they've ever come through and told me a specific date like this, but they will not come through and tell you the timing of your death. And rarely do they come through and tell you the specific date of when something's going to happen, like a birth or what day you're going to get this job. What they will tell you is they will come through and they will say it's soon or it's coming, okay? But in all honesty, they don't really bother with exact dates because they want you to focus more on the process. You have to remember that the process of something happening, meaning the lessons you have to learn, the people that you meet in the process of you getting that job, or the education that you need before you land that job, is really what matters, not the date. We struggle with the date because we want to control our environment. We want to know how to plan. It helps that our root chakra feel stable and grounded. But your loved ones, your spirit guides, they could care less about the date. Okay, so rarely do they come through with dates. And as far as the timing of when you might die or how you might die, they are not going to share that with me or with you. Because if they did, because of free will, you would have a chance to change things that might actually be needed for something you need to learn. And remember, they're not going to interfere with that unless it's an emergency. So there are times when I have gotten indications of people maybe having a heart attack or issues like that. And I will say, you might want to go get your heart checked out. But I'm not hearing she's going to die tomorrow from a heart attack, okay? But they will give you a hint. Go get your heart checked out so that you can catch something as a warning. But they're not going to tell you exact dates and stuff like that. So don't get hooked up on if you go to a reading and you walk away and say, they just told me general stuff. Remember, don't shoot the messenger. Your guides are telling general stuff. They do offer specifics, as most of you have seen in the readings that you have with me, things that I would never know, special things that only you and your loved ones know. But as far as dates, don't get hooked up on that. It's just not important to them. Not like it is to us anyway. Okay, the last two, we have two more. They'll never tell you what to do. Okay, we have free will, and there's got to be some rules that we're allowed to play with so that we can come here to learn what we want. Your guides and your loved ones want to help you choose the best path, right? They want to light the path up for you. They want to create synchronicities for you to learn things, but they know that you have a choice, and you have to own that choice, okay? They cannot live your life for you, nor do they want to. So they're not going to come through and tell you what to do. I have so many clients who will say, well, what would my mother do? Or can't they just tell me what to do, which job to pick? Look at it this way. There are so many options that we can choose from, and because we have free will, and that's our right, and that's why we come to Earth, to be able to practice it. They don't want to take that away from you. They want you to earn that badge, okay? And trust me when I say, whatever choice you make, if it's not in your best interest, you'll get a reminder or a little help from heaven. Trust me when I say that. So anything other than that, you just do you and let them kind of tag along with you and give you some insight when needed. But don't give your power over to the spirit realm, because they can't do anything with it. It'll just sit there and waste. It's for you. Last one. Now, this is a big one. They are not going to tell you everything that you want to know. They absolutely refuse. They can, but they absolutely refuse. Okay, they want you to experience life because you at a soul level have gone through all this birthing, the sleepless nights, crying, choice making, dating, breakups, divorce, abortion, all this. You've gone through all of this, okay? And they want to honor your journey here and let you live life and make those choices and use your free will on a daily basis. They don't want to take that away from you. I guarantee you, if they took it away from you and you died tomorrow and you're having your life review and you look down and you're like, God, darn it. Why did I go to that psychic and ask this question? Why did I want to know how everything was planned? It took all the guesswork. It took all the soul development levels. It took all the fun, the curiosity away. We as a spirit, when we're on the other side crafting our life, we get excited and we get challenged and we want to come down to this school called Earth and see how we do, right? So when we come down and we have ego inserted and we have memory taken away of where we've come from, if we had a script, about when and how and who and how everything was going to play out, it would not, we might as well stay in heaven and be surrounded by a bunch of love. Okay, it just, yeah, it seems easier, but it's really not easier. They want to focus on the current step that you're on, the process of your soul development, what you're learning, the connections you're making, the opportunity for you to choose higher in any given situation. And if you knew everything, you just take the easy route out. That's how our brains are figured. So instead of them showing you the whole path, they want to focus on where you're at. They want to give you signs of encouragement. They want to give you signs of validation. They want to peek in and see how you're doing. They want you to know that they love and support you, but they don't want to hand you your life on a silver platter. What's the point, right? When you die, you'd be in your life review going, well, that was easy. That didn't help me learn. I cheated. I got the cheat sheet. So, so those are all of the things, okay, that they want you to know, that they won't tell you. And just remember, they are always trying to connect with you and love you and help you along the way. And if you just need a little bit more insight or you're having trouble connecting, reach out to me. I would love to do a reading with you to connect you with them. If you're struggling with grief or loss beyond what you can handle, I have 2 amazing programs that can help you through that. And if you haven't liked my Inner Healing Business page, go ahead and hit that like button and follow me, and then jump on over to Conversations Across the Veil, because I add a lot more content there and I give specials on my services, and I would love to connect with you personally there. Annette, thanks for showing up. Listen, all of y'all, I hope you have a beautiful weekend, and thank you for showing up today and participating. Share this video, share my content with those who you think would help. And if you have any questions, put them in the comment box below, and I would love to answer them for you. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.